you can start off by talking about like why we like wrestling. The earliest match or anything that you saw that made you go, yeah,
So for
I
me,
want to watch this.
the thing is, for me, it's less specific matches and more of just like things happening all at one time.
Mm,
You know, like the overall
true.
just like the feeling of a show washing over me. But I can go into that a little bit more on an actual recording. So
I mean, I've had 3 different eras of watching wrestling. There was me, like I'll watch. I didn't like the Attitude Era as a child. I just didn't. I didn't actually get into wrestling until the fucking Attitude Era. One of the earliest matches I remember watching was fucking APA. Like, Ron Simmons and Bradshaw, it was like a year after 9/11, and Ron Simmons and Bradshaw were drinking beers together. Like, man, we got to crack one open for those people who died in that plane crash. And I was like, okay, that's not crazy. So they just drank beer for 9/11 victims. And I don't remember anything else that happened on that. I don't know. Ruthless Aggression was a really cool era for me because it was outside of fucking Jerry Lawler commentating women's matches. Like I couldn't that. Oh my god, dude! Fucking $500 to listen to Jerry Lawler commentate a fucking women's match. No, how long could you listen to Jerry Lawler commentate a women's match
at
before before you're like, I gotta fucking tap out of this?
at the time or now,
Both. Let's get 2 answers.
at,
Actually, hold on. Let's say just. Let's say that one.
I've already started recording.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We're gonna fucking.
We
We'll do it live.
yeah.
We have to edit something. We will.
Yeah, fuck it. But
Yeah. Go ahead.
at the time, I was going along with it because it was fun as shit.
Really.
Yeah.
Uh.
Dude, you gotta remember what kind of fucking time it was. Like this was I mean it was a little bit
I
before
was
Jack
also
and-
alive back then, Detroit.
Yeah. But like everything was just like kind of geared towards that, so you just kind of went along with it and didn't give it a second thought. Nowadays it's just like it is annoying and shit and
Puppies.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing of it is if you ever go back and play the old SmackDown games when like the PS2 ones, you would get all the repeating commentary lines in them, and you kind of get the same experience as it feels now, where it's just the same really shitty jokes said over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it feels now, but back then it felt like something you would kind of want to go along with too.
Jerry the King Lawler actively made me hate watching matches.
Understandable.
Actively, I did not like watching, at least on Raw. SmackDown was fine because they didn't do that there. But Raw women's matches back then, like, also there was like 12 women on the roster, and they weren't great. They weren't like. You had your Trish Stratus and your Litas, but like fucking Stacy Keibler, I think had like fucking title shots, and it's like she's not a wrestler.
Stacy Keibler was my
Yeah,
favorite.
of course. Brother, I couldn't tell you anything that Stacy Keibler has ever done with inside of a wrestling
I
ring.
couldn't either.
Okay, I don't know it. The whole we go let the old man be a pervert. He's so good at everything else, and it's like he's not. He's not good. He's dog shit. He was Jerry the King Lawler was actively the worst commentator. It's like everyone complains about Michael Cole and stuff nowadays, and it's like I'd rather have Michael Cole over Lawler, 100%. Jesus Christ, he was ass. Oh no, man! I fucking an entire 3-hour block of Jerry of Laura commentating women's matches. It's like you'll have to give me $1 million to sit there and listen to that shit. it's bad, and it's like I think entirely my whole I hate perverts thing that I have going on is 100% driven from that, because it's like, this is the most annoying shit in the world. I hate this so much. That was at like the age of 12. And it really stuck with me, that
Okay, that makes a little bit more
much
sense.
that it's like, I don't like hearing people talk about sex or things being sexy and stuff of that nature. I just don't like it. It just annoys me.
See, okay, you just said you were talking about this at the age of 12. This was like the age of what? Shoot, 9, 10. On my side.
You are older than me.
Yes,
I
but
might have been like I
but
might
he
have
was doing
said
that.
the wrong number.
No, because I
Oh,
know you got into things
well,
later
yeah,
than
I
I
know
did.
he did that all through the '90s and into the 2000s. It really didn't stop until like what, 2010 maybe. I don't know. That might be too late, because I definitely watched wrestling from like 2002 until probably about 2009, like the late 2000s. Yeah, so about
Yeah.
2008. So yeah, and it was just awful. It was awful to listen to. It's just like, I was 2008. I was 16, so 2002 I would have been 10. Yeah, I didn't like it. There you go. So yeah, that was the age I was. I was around like, I didn't hit puberty yet. I was like, I don't want to hear you talk about this.
Yeah.
Also, the women's matches were just less violent, and like 100%, my favorite thing about wrestling, and the reason why I like wrestling, is the violence. It's I like fighting games because fighting games are violent. I like fucking action movies because action movies are violent. I It doesn't have to be great. It just has to be violent. That's my shit right there. So
The other
partially
thing too. The
why,
other thing
yeah,
too. They always had some really stupid shit going on with them, like with the bra and panties matches. Like
yeah,
even in my role, where I'm a little bit more geared towards that, and you're like, maybe you start getting into it the first time you hear about it, and then you see the match. A, it's bad. B, they're in their bra and panties. So what? You see that all the time at like a beach or something like that. Who gives a shit? And you realize, oh, this is just a little bit gimmick, and it's one of those things that kind of realizes just how much of a sideshow this entire segment base is
hmm,
compared to the main show.
yep, yep.
And
I think I would like
it took them a long time to get away from that, but they've done a really good job of it.
oh, they fucking replaced that with the Divas era, which was even worse wrestling somehow.
Dude,
I was like,
remember the fucking
okay.
Diva Surge?
There are female wrestlers from that era who are still in WWE wrestling, who are like doing good stuff, but good lord, that was a horrendous era
Yeah,
for
they were the
women's wrestling.
exception, not the rule.
Yeah, shouts out to Naomi,
Right.
for real, for real. Started off as a fucking dancer for Brodus Clay, and now she's like, I don't know, pretty consistently one of the better women's wrestlers. It's getting up there for all time, to me, at least.
I fully agree.
She's been hella consistent. It's like, and like, it's kind of crazy. It's like, she really didn't get over until she started shaking her ass, and everyone was like, "Damn, she shakes the shit out of her ass. God damn!" And you actually watch her match, and it's like, "Wait a minute, hold on, she's good."
Wrestling,
Whoa.
see, that's the kind of the weird thing about wrestling. Any little thing that can get you noticed is a huge boon if you have the talent to back it
Mm-hmm.
up. Because,
Yep.
um, exactly like you said, be it something as simple as that, or as simple as, or you like somebody's entrance theme, so you kind of look forward to seeing them come
Mm-hmm.
out just for that, and then you start, oh, well, they're
Mm-hmm.
good, and you kind of go from there. And yeah, this is a little bit more base of a way to go about that, but in an entertainment business, when you have the talent to back it up, you get actual respect. And even though you come in through the back door, so to speak, um,
Mm-hmm.
worded that kind of
I,
poorly.
I was not gonna point out the use of the language there, but you know what? We can keep going.
If you come in through a side alleyway, we'll say, you still kind of come.
You know, you can say back door. It's fine. We're talking about her ass. You can say back door there.
But I was gonna say you still arrive to respect, even if you kind of come to it the wrong salute, the right end through the wrong way. If you want to think about it that way.
I get you. I get you. It's like it's anything that can get you there. Fucking John Cena was the prototype, and then he was like, and then I guess he like fucking rapped once around somebody in creative at that point in time. Was like, dude, you should have a rapper gimmick, a white rapper gimmick, and he fucking nailed that shit. He played it 100%. It's an incredibly, insanely funny gimmick to give a brolic white dude from Massachusetts like, oh yeah, you're a white rapper now, and he played it with all seriousness, and at fucking 20 years later, it's still a part of him being the white rapper.
Did you ever listen to the CD he put out?
Ooh, I think I did, but it was such a long time ago. Someone was posting about it. And I re-listened to that song he did with it's not Mims, Murs, the California rapper, where like apparently he just wanted John Cena in the video, and John Cena was like, I could spit a couple bars, and he spit some fucking bars, and it's like, you know what, John Cena, pretty alright rapper back then. He was very clearly someone who actually liked the genre, and when giving the rapper gimmick was like, I'll do some studying, and he was a decent rapper. I will say you can't do Doctor of Thug. I don't know if you can't do Doctor of Thugonomics nowadays, or if Doctor of Thugonomics is more topical than ever within rap. Because it feels like every year there's like, oh shit, there's a new white kid on the block. Okay, what is he talking about? He's just rapping about thug shit, and it's like, let me check this early life section on his Wikipedia page. This man's from fucking Malibu. You're talking about fucking riding around with Mac 10s, and you're from Malibu?
Fucking shit's Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah, pretty much. Fucking motherfuckers be from goddamn. What's the rich part of New York City? It's not Manhattan. Long Island?
I have no idea. I've never.
No one actually lives in Manhattan. Or the people who live in Manhattan are poor as shit because they're paying astronomical prices for the apartment. They'll be from the rich parts of cities and be like, I'm from this city, and it's like, technically, that is not you lying, but you don't have street cred. You went to a private fucking school, buddy. I don't want to hear it from you. But yeah, I don't know.
It's one of those things where you could tell it was something that he was into, but made a bigger part of his gimmick, which is a lot of times one of the things that's going to be a really big way to connect with an audience in any way.
It's with wrestlers, I think what's important for them is any gimmicks that you have, it has to be something that's kind of important to you. Like, has to be. Like fucking New Day making their gimmick being we're fucking for a while there being we're nerdy weeaboos who can wrestle really good, and that was their thing, and that worked really, really well for them because they were nerdy weeaboos who can wrestle really good. And it's like your gimmick should be something that's a part of you, or it's something really simple that you can do that just gets you over. Braun Strowman, his gimmick for a long time being, I'm really fucking strong, you guys. Because he's really fucking strong and 6'10" and from fucking the middle of nowhere Tennessee, so it's like no one, because of the way he looks, no one expects him to ever get on the mic and talk. Because I don't know, he has a deep enough voice where it's not like, oh, let's give the microphone. If Mike Tyson was a wrestler, it wouldn't work, right?
Right.
Because he'll start talking, and it's like, okay, you're huge, you're scary, you look terrifying, you sound like a chihuahua when you talk. I'm taken out of it, man. I'm sorry, but and I don't know. Wrestling's interesting because it's like everything you think it would operate like a stage play, where it's like, okay, you would need people who are classically trained at this. The only like wrestler who I can think of that's classically trained in acting is Cody Rhodes, right? Everybody else was like people who really liked wrestling, and they're either former athletes or just people who were wrestlers before. Cody Rhodes is the only guy I can think of who like went to an actual acting school.
I mean, there's been a lot of times where they'll send wrestlers that are just starting out to acting schools to kind of get lessons there. Like, I know they did that with Roman Reigns for a while.
He needed it.
Yeah, so does.
I mean, he's much better than he used to be. So, yeah, he needed it. Unfortunately, they don't know how I don't want to say properly right, but it's like, I think his character could be so much more interesting, but I don't know. I once saw, in the topic of like wrestling and gimmicks and stuff, I once, to bring it to a different topic, I once saw a Brian F video where someone was telling him about VTubers because he was coaching a VTuber, and so he needed to be told what the hell is a VTuber actually. So when he was told that, he basically made the comparison of VTubers are like wrestlers in that they have a gimmick. Most of them have gimmicks, and they try to make that gimmick work for them. And like the most successful VTubers are the ones who have a gimmick that is something that they're already interested in. Now, I will say, I think most VTubers, at least on the English side, I don't speak Japanese. I think most VTubers will have like their character, and their character will have a gimmick, and they kind of don't use that gimmick. I don't know. It felt more common back in the day that a VTuber would have their gimmick for their character be something like, oh yeah, my character is from outer space, and it's not just a fucking design thing that they have. It's like everything is outer space based. Even like sometimes the things they talk about is, yeah, I'm from outer space. But it definitely doesn't feel like that with VTubers anymore, which isn't the current topic of the today's videos. I just wanted to bring that up.
Now, the thing of it is, it's a very obvious parallel. Now, I know a lot of VTubers will go against actually making that link because they think it's kind of a negative one. But if you look at it, it's very similar, at least on the user end. People come in with a gimmick. They work through an independent scene. There's a big old independent scene right there with a lot of, basically 2 or 3, maybe even 4 at this point, depending on what your definition of it is, big companies that you would kind of want to work your way up towards. And then when you're scouted, you're given a new gimmick in the main, in the big leagues. But people will follow you from gimmick to gimmick. But once you're in that gimmick, that's your gimmick. Anyone could have been the Undertaker, and it would have failed.
Yes.
Only Mark Calloway can be the Undertaker, as we have it in this timeline.
Yep.
And that's the way it's a very similar thing, at least on the user end, and it's kind of a funny thing to really kind of sit and think about.
I'm glad you brought up the Undertaker, because a lot of VTubers, for corporate VTubers, they start off playing their gimmick very seriously. They are the dead man Undertaker, but after a while and some success, they stop with the gimmick for the most part, and they eventually just become They eventually just become Big Evil Undertaker. Well, am I wrong?
No, you're not. But at the same time, Big Evil Undertaker also had elements of the Undertaker in it. It's the same as like you're describing. You'll see like the one I have in mind, my favorite, Maury Calliope. She still incorporates a lot of her original gimmick into her theming, into her new outfits, into her stage design for stuff like that, and into her music and stuff like that. But you'll see other ones where maybe it doesn't work out that well, and it actually works out better for them, that they don't kind of play into their theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting to see how these characters kind of play out, even just from that perspective, exactly the same way as you would a wrestler. Like Cody Rhodes, taking him from when he was in Legacy to now, whether you like him or hate him during any of that time, it's an interesting way to look at things.
But you can always tell with Cody Rhodes that there was a difference, and like they'll just give him some dog shit, and he'll like, because of his acting chops, he'll sit there and he'll try to make it work. I think Stardust, like of all of Cody Rhodes in his different eras and hundreds of fucking gimmicks that he's ever had, Stardust is one of my favorite of his, because he took this insanely silly gimmick and he played it so fucking seriously. It's a lot like Goldust, where it's this insanely silly gimmick and it was played so seriously, but like it was far more silly Stardust than Goldust, because Cody had to put on that weird fucking voice. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. Why the fuck he did that? Stop! Dust. It's like, all right, man, you sound like a fucking old lady. What are you doing here? But he played it so seriously. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then he left, and then he went and did Japan stuff. And then his early stuff with AEW was great. And then everyone was like, if this dude doesn't fucking turn heel, if he doesn't turn heel, it's like, brother, you look like Homelander. This theme that's super popular, you've leaned into looking like Homelander, even though you did it first. To be fair, he did do it first. But you look like this evil dude. We're ready, brother. I don't care what anyone says. If you see a white man with dyed blonde hair and they're over the age of 20, I'm immediately assuming they're evil. I'm 100% placing the blame for me thinking that on Geese Howard. Cody Rhodes, in AEW, all those fucking dorks over there wanted Cody Rhodes to turn heel so they can go, yeah, that's our Geese Howard there. It is what it is.
I will say,
but he didn't want to. He's a babyface.
The thing about AEW Cody Rhodes is I knew almost from the start that it was going to kind of be a bumpy ride, because like right out the gate he came out and they basically had him, I think it was a match, I don't think it was an announcement, I think it was a match that basically said, you'll never be world champion in AEW. And I feel like he felt like he had to do that so nobody accused him of like just booking for himself or something like that, or being booked towards him. But it really hamstrung his roof, or it really lowered his roof.
He had to make up his own bullshit fake title so he could win it. So no one's saying like, oh, hey, yeah, you booked yourself to win the title. Congratulations, dude. I hope you're happy for yourself.
And I knew from that moment that there was it could work out long term, and I mean, obviously it would work out for him, but that I think that was the moment. That was the moment that I knew that it probably wouldn't, and then I would probably. Since then, I've not really enjoyed his stuff, kind of overall. Which one of my favorite things is my favorite stories is one. I think, and it's been a while, but the last time I was at a major wrestling show, or the time before that, there was a kid when we were leaving. Me and my mom, there was a kid walking by us with like a light up sign of Cody Rhodes with the WWE title. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And he's like, yeah, let's go. But by the time that actually became reality, I could not give a shit less. And that's how.
Yeah,
It's funny how things can turn around like that.
dude, Cody Rhodes. I not to get too far into the weeds on like talking about current goings on and stuff, but like Cody Rhodes, his title run has only been good in the sense that he actually wrestles. It's only been good in the sense that it's a Cody Rhodes match, and you kind of know what's gonna happen, what's gonna go on. He's gonna try to wrestle a Japanese style match every time, but you know it's WWE, and we're not having that shit, buddy. I don't know. I think of him and Cena. That should be good, but there's just gonna be a fuck finish,
Yeah.
and I just can't care about that. The knowledge that it's, I know there's gonna be a fuck finish, dude. I don't fucking care. I don't know. There's a magical thing with wrestling, and that this guy is a character that in everything about him would make him the hero, the son of the son of the guy who never made it, the younger brother of the guy who wasn't allowed to even get close to it, and it's like he's the champion, and that should be a thing that feels good. But because wrestling fans all have their brains broken, a lot of people can't bring themselves to cheer for it. A lot of the, what's the term? Marks? Yeah, a lot of the
Okay.
marks.
No,
smarks.
Smarks. I was about to say.
Yeah, a lot of the smarks can't bring themselves to cheer for this. Obviously, what you should cheer for story, and I think that's the beautiful thing about wrestling. Because in anything else, the Cody Rhodes story would be seen as, I think, genuinely good storytelling. But because we're wrestling fans, our mentality is just different.
So here's the thing.
Where it's like we want to see this guy who's obviously a hero. We want to see him be the bad guy.
Hold on. Because you just said something that I think I might... Okay, so you just said it's genuinely good storytelling. Are you talking about from Cody Rhodes' standpoint?
From the standpoint of everything else.
No, hold on.
No. From the standpoint of just Cody Rhodes himself.
Yeah.
I'm willing to say that I think the Rock stuff is also still good storytelling. The whole I wish there was a more obvious and defined end goal for it.
Well, hold on. Let me put it to you this way. Because I don't think you're wrong. But I think from the overall picture standpoint, or from... Because the way he won it was through intersecting with the Bloodline storyline. Yeah. And from a Bloodline standpoint, it's very bad storytelling. And it's interesting how both of those can be true. And it's almost like light shining towards a prism, and then that kind of determines whether you like what you see or not.
Yes.
Because, like, basically the whole thing with the Bloodline, and this is one of my, again, not to be too current situation-y, but this is one of my biggest pet peeves with the way a lot of booking is nowadays, is it started off with a very simple storyline of, I think it was Jey Uso, right? He was the main character first?
Yeah.
Jey
Uso was the main character because Roman was like, you are my cousin.
Right.
You should be helping me. Why are you not doing that? And that, at the fucking start of it, that was some of the best writing WWE has ever had on TV. See, it was brilliant.
Now, I was kind of against it because I'm kind of against Roman Reigns in general. Just don't like him. Even though I do like the Usos. Again, one of those things where it's like, my like of one does not supersede my dislike of the other enough in this situation. But I can, come looking at it objectively, that's a good way to start a story. You kind of look at it long term, their hero's journey, you see Jey Uso with the title. Now, it's funny saying this a week before WrestleMania where we're probably going to see that, but that's not him beating Roman Reigns to become the tribal chief or head of the table, whatever you want to say. That's not him, somehow getting over on the rest of the bloodline. You kind of blew that off midway through or a little bit ago in something I don't even remember. This is him beating Gunther because he won the Royal Rumble. It has nothing to do with anything. And the way the bloodline storyline itself went was, oh, now we're gonna have Sami Zayn in here to set up this, to set up Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble, and he lost this time, but we're gonna build him up, and all right, but maybe he'll have a chance next year. He's gonna have a chance next year. So
Yeah.
A, you already know the next year doesn't fucking matter. B, you get to this, and now it's Cody Rhodes needing Seth Rollins. Who was the other person that he had? John Cena, and
Yes.
not even the Undertaker. Mark Calloway in street clothes, like he just got off the couch to beat
He
Roman
fucking,
Reigns.
he fucking walked up, legs unable to fucking bend. It's like, brother, get a wheelchair, man.
And
Come
like you
out
said-
on the motorcycle. It'll be better for you.
And like you said, from Cody Rhodes' side, and even in a vacuum, that's not bad storytelling. Like as that match in a vacuum, if executed properly, it isn't terrible storytelling. But looking at it from the bloodline perspective, the thing that's been like the last 4 years at that point,
4 years, yeah.
how did it get to this? It feels like it spiraled out of control way before, and you're just kind of almost like a comic book has to find a way to extend it, and now you're just so far off base. What the hell are you doing? And I guess they kind of veered it back on course now, but you've already lost the original plot, and people who didn't like it in the first place are never going to like it now. People who did, it's going to be changing so much that maybe they won't soon. But that, I guess that'll also pick up new fans eventually. But now you're oversaturating all of SmackDown with this thing.
Yeah.
Basically, if I want to see LA Knight, I think LA Knight's still on SmackDown, right?
Yes.
If I want to see LA Knight, if I want to see if I technically wanted to see the Wyatt Six, whatever, I would basically
Wait,
have
no,
to
they were
walk through
on
it.
Raw, weren't they?
No, they got drafted over.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been so long, I've forgotten.
But the entire show is this act that I do not enjoy.
Well, it was. It's much different now. I think the Bloodline stuff actually ended. It started super good, and then there was fucking years of like, I'm sick of this shit, man. And then the end of it was like, this feels like a fucking comic book story. And I like that. Where the guy who they bring in to be the big muscle fucking gets the idea in his head, actually, I should be the boss. I should be the one in charge. I'm the one smart enough to do this, not my older brothers, not my older cousin, me. And then he goes and he recruits a cousin who was in jail, and the fucking whole reason why Jacob Fatu was so loyal to him, because it's like, I put you out of jail to come help me out, and he was loyal to him because of that. And then in real life, he literally was pulled out of jail to do that. He was literally in jail watching his cousins win a title, and I was like, fuck, man, I gotta stop being in jail.
Hey, man. I mean, more power to
I mean,
him, you
true.
know?
It's working for him. And now, after bringing in a guy who's obviously much better than him, much better than him in like, much better than he ever will be, he's been relegated to fucking being on the sideline, and it's like, in the span of a year, he went from the lead of the new part of the bloodline to fucking second fiddle.
Are you talking about Solo and
Yeah,
Tama
Solo and
Tonga?
Jacob Fatu.
Oh, Jacob Fatu,
Yeah,
okay.
well,
I was gonna say,
yeah. Fatu's the leader now, basically,
okay.
because he's the most popular one.
I guess it makes it sound like a boy band or something.
But yeah, so I mean, effectively, when you think about it, wrestling factions are boy bands. Yeah, thank you for coming to this video essay. All right, but yeah, I don't know. It felt like what happens to a villain group in a comic book story, where it's like the villain groups don't stay together because eventually one person gets the idea in his head, I'm better than all of them. I don't need to split this. This should be my loot. And then he fucks over everybody. And the whole Fatu coming in and being the better person thing, that's kind of a crazy wrinkle that I think literally everyone called, but we didn't see it happening this fast, you know? Fucking Fatu was added to the roster for the Bloodline after last WrestleMania. It's like less than a year later. Solo's already on the back burner. So funny.
It's funny because Solo was like the one call up or whatever you want to call it from that whole thing that I did actually kind of like when I did watch, but I could easily see where he could have been superseded by somebody else, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it very clearly came when it was like, all right, Solo's the big guy now, and like, oh my god, he's not ready. He's not ready. Oh shit, oh god. And Roman Reigns he's busy doing stuff. I don't know. He's been doing things. I don't even want to be like specific or like say anything because it's like for the past year he's been fucking gone. He shows up and it's like, time for my yearly WrestleMania match, fellas. And it's like, all right, that's cool. What have you done for the last year? And because he came back, they didn't have anything for CM Punk. They didn't have anything for Seth Rollins. So it was like, fucking triple threat match, I guess. And it's like, all right, man, sure.
So, one thing I was actually, and this is kind of to cut us off from being so current day.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things I was wanting to ask, because I've actually seen two different sides of this, because I've always thought I've been on one side of this myself. Do you like it better when there's like the main event is what you're there for and everything else is just kind of leading up to that? Or do you like it better when each part of the show kind of feels like it matters to itself?
I like it if each part of the show feels like it matters to itself.
See that
I hate when it's everything's for this. I guess it makes it feel more like a fight card in that sense, to where the thing that we're all here to see is the thing at the end of the show. Everything else is like bonus matches, basically. But this is the thing that you're here to see, and it's like that's kind of not like in the sense of like a UFC match. They've gotten better about that, somewhat, a little bit, not really.
But
I have my own qualms with the way UFC's doing stuff nowadays, but it's like, but in wrestling, the thing that should stop everything from being the one thing is that you're here to see is what you're here to see, is the fact that there's additional storytelling to be done. It's not, you shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket of this is the thing that everyone wants to see. There's so much time to fill. You have to have so many stories, I believe.
See, that's what I enjoyed, and that's why when I think about why I really like the Attitude Era, that's what I like the most about it, was you would come in and you would have your favorite guys in like the first hour, and then you'd have your favorite guys in the middle show, and then you'd have your favorite guys at the end of the show, and each one of them felt like they were doing something that mattered, at least within their own stories or within something that you cared about around them. And I feel like that's been missing for a long time from most shows.
Yes.
You'll hit this part where it's just like, okay, well, we're trotting these guys out just to try them out. We're having these matches here just because we have time to fill. We have 3 hours and we're only using like 1.5. But we need to sell the advertising, so here's 3 hours of, here's like 30, 40 minutes of nothing.
Yes.
And people only matter when they're kind of getting made to move up to that upper echelon. Other than that, you're just kind of, hey, if you get some fan reaction, cool. If not, then you're still getting a paycheck, right?
Right. I think also a problem, like, one of the biggest issues pre-COVID was that right there. because so many shows felt like actually everything building into the main event, and these guys who had their own thing going on, they kind of got sucked into what the main event has going on. And it's like, we could give stream time to these guys who are wrestling, but we gotta show more of the main event. And it's like, it's cool sometimes. I don't know. I mean, Kofi Mania wasn't the main event for that WrestleMania, was it?
I don't remember, actually.
I don't think it was. Vaughn, could you look that one up? Oh my God! Because we were talking and then you pressed the record button, we never introduced ourselves.
Well, we're 40 minutes in. Do you want to do it now? Do you want
40 minutes in? Yes, this is the perfect time to put the introductions to tell you the name of the theme that you're listening to, the people that you're listening to, and what we're fucking talking about.
Just like a New Japan match, the real podcast starts now.
The real podcast start now. The fucking podcast starting. Let's ask Vaughn a question. Hi, hello, welcome back. It's been a little bit, as you can tell. Well, we haven't done this in a little bit. Welcome back to Sittin, a Voicecall, a podcast about anything that we really want it to be about, as you can tell so far. I'm one of the hosts, Anna Mac.
And I'm one of the hosts, Dr. Detroit.
And with us, as always, is our good pal, Vaughn, the fact checker, who you won't hear because he's effectively the podcast producer. He doesn't really, he mostly is only there to have a backup recording and also answer questions when we ask.
Yeah, he doesn't own a voice, so you won't hear him.
True. But yeah, I don't know. I like when there's stories to be built up to it. And I think the Triple H era does have the issue of sometimes they just don't tell enough stories to really fill out a pay-per-view card. Like that one Berlin card that had 5 matches on it. That was a little fucking strange. But the supposed match card for WrestleMania this year, for both nights, does look like it's packed with matches, so it should be cool. Should be is the key word there. There's a strong chance that it's not.
I'm not seeing a whole lot that I don't think it's going to be like terrible, but I'm not seeing a whole lot that I'm super excited for.
I think the one match that I'm most excited for, and I'm so ready to be disappointed, is Jade versus Naomi.
See, I said the same thing, and I was talked down.
See, I agreed with you, but you got immediately talked down, so I was like, I'm gonna sulky. I'm gonna.
This microphone cuts out. Hey, you alright?
My bad, I pulled my fucking wire out of my headphone. Yeah, you got cooked, and I was like, I'm gonna let you get cooked, and I'm gonna not say anything. I'm only excited for that because of the build up to it. I think that has been the best story going into WrestleMania.
Let's see.
Mostly because like,
Let me look up the. Since we're right here, might as well just look up the match cards.
Yeah. Because a lot of the matches, okay, the 4-way for the, so I'm looking forward for the payoff of Naomi and Jade, but the match that I am the most excited to see is the 4-way for the U.S. title.
Let's see.
That's one of those things where it's like, okay, outside of some fuck shit happening, this should be the most exciting match on the card. Dom Mysterio has, against all odds, become entertaining as hell. I don't know.
They've tried to fuck. They've tried to fuck him up so hard, and they just can't.
They just can't. The Liv and Rhea stuff was like a little crazy. I don't really like. I'm not saying what they currently call his gimmick. I'm not gonna say that out
What
loud.
is it?
Uh,
Type it
it's
out
Daddy
there.
Dom. It's
Oh.
yeah. I think Liv Morgan calls him that. And it's
Oh,
like,
that's so fucking dumb.
uh, but
But he
his
again.
his in ring work is like good.
See, here's the thing. I say, "Oh, that's so fucking dumb," but I say it with a smile because he makes it work.
Yeah, yeah. He's good. It's fucked up that the Dominic Mysterio from like the fucking stupid little, like, I say little, he's just like twice the size of his fucking dad. This just stupid, like, creative wrestler looking guy got a visually appealing look. It's just like, oh, he's just a good heel. I don't think so. There's wrestlers who is like, okay, he could be face or he can be heel. He or she, they can be face and they can be heel, and it'll be great. I cannot see a reality where there's a face gimmick for Dominic Mysterio that just works. I just can't.
Eventually, he's going to do the exact same thing that Eddie did. Is he'll be so healed for so long that people will get tired of booing him. They'll just start cheering him because they're tired of booing him, and he'll be over like that.
I think the Eddie Guerrero thing is mostly born from like that particular time period where it was like, you know what, man, fuck it. The Iraq War, it's not going well. We're all kind of a little sad, but we don't really know how to fucking like proclaim it. So fuck it, man. Let's cheer for the scumbag. And I imagine it's probably gonna eventually get to that point with Dominic Mysterio, where it's like he's going to continue to be a scumbag, but it's going to just work. He's going to be over with the fans, and people are gonna like it. And he's gonna keep being a scumbag, and people are gonna still be like, "Huh,
okay,
this is good."
If you ask me, especially about WWE, I'll complain to you about it for hours and hours and hours on end if you let me. But I just had a thought. Somewhere 3 to 5 years from now, a fucking Dominic Mysterio versus Braun Breaker as a main event championship match at WrestleMania. Imagine how fucking hard
if
that
we're
would
gonna
go.
ever see it, it's right now, because they're both in that like scumbaggery territory of like obviously a bad person, but fucking shit, man, I kind of like watching them do stuff. So I'm down for it.
So let's.
I want to see what they do in that match. Like I said, that Naomi Jade is the one I'm most excited to see the finish for. That match there is like the first time in like forever that I've seen like a 4-way match where it's like, if any of these guys win, I'm excited.
So do you want to just run down like match by match, just like a real quick thought thing?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this list at least starts with Roman versus Punk versus Rollins.
That's supposed to be the main event. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if it didn't main event. Also, I hope.
I hope it doesn't.
I want Rollins to win.
You won't
because because I like him the most out of the three, and B because I know it causes most butt hurt.
See, here's my thing. I want Roman to win because I don't want the outcome of this match to fucking matter. So if Roman wins, it doesn't fucking matter. Roman's gonna go and he's gonna do fucking nothing for another 5 months, and everyone's just gonna forget this match even happened. If CM Punk wins, it'll become a whole thing with him, Paul Heyman, and stuff. But if Roman wins, there's just no outcome of this match that's gonna make it be a lasting thing, because it's just some shit that they threw together because it's like, can't leave Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins off the card, and it's like, fair, but could we make that decision sooner than 2 months, sooner than like 3 weeks before the WrestleMania happens? Maybe. And then Oh, next match. Unless you got anything else you want to say.
Nah. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I do not give a shit about this
The
match
build up to
whatsoever.
this one has started to get good, but before it was basically like, oh my god, Charlotte Flair is fucking. It's not big brothering if they're both women. Big sistering means something completely different. She's been basically like fucking like treating her like a child, like a stupid little fucking baby. And Tiffany Stratton did get her revenge by saying, "You're gonna be alone forever, Charlotte." And it's like, okay, all right, man. This is getting a little personal. And I guess WWE being in one of the wisest decisions they've ever made, saw they get personal and was like, okay, fuck it. If we're escalating, we got to start escalating. Which is, thank the Lord. Because Charlotte Flair won the Rumble, and Stratton won the belt off of Nia Jax using the fucking Money in the Bank thing. And it felt like nothing has happened here. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have a fucking triple threat for their women's title. Plus, there's so many other story threads that are like fucked up and tied in just off of the Elimination Chamber match. But yeah.
I don't get Tiffany Stratton.
I don't get Tiffany Stratton
Charlotte
either.
Flair is beyond her the point that I really enjoy watching her. This match means nothing to me.
Charlotte Flair is like, it feels like she was supposed to have like a career resurgence or career revival where it's like, actually Charlotte Flair is pretty good. Like what people had with a lot of male wrestlers, but unfortunately, instead of working on her moveset to become a more interesting wrestler to watch, she got facial surgery and is not an interesting wrestler to watch. And also, Tiffany Stratton has the main title, and you kind of forget that because she's been basically fucking led around like a damn puppy by Trish Stratus for like the last year. So that's cool.
Next one, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
I'm excited for this one. I know you really like LA Knight. In the ring, I'm just not seeing it there. But he's good enough to where this should be a great match. It should be a great match. Jacob Fatu he's not like, it's not a normal bloodline match when he's involved because he's more interested in like killing you than he is with having his homies help out. Love that shit. You don't have anything else to say?
Not really, because I don't watch enough to know the build, and also
That's
I
fair.
really have no opinion on Jacob Fatu. Yeah, I want LA Knight to win. I like LA Knight. He's not the best in the ring, but he's more than serviceable. He in a sense, he's the same as the Miz, but a little bit more competent, a little bit more skilled.
Oh, he's the Miz, but you can actually watch his shit.
Yeah.
God, did you see the Miz attempt Rainmaker? That was one of the worst shits I've ever seen in my life.
No, I didn't, but I can only imagine.
It was terrible. It was awful.
I'll have to look it up.
Holy fuck.
Next up, we kind of talked about this Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Yeah, that's night one. I think that's gonna be the opener, right?
It probably will be. And imagine if it stole this fucking show.
It could. And it's like, but the problem is the reason why you got shot down when you said you were excited for this match is Jade Cargill is still very green and also hasn't really wrestled for the last 5 months. So, it's like, hey, when you have someone who's really fucking raw, what should you do with them? Have them do nothing. And it's like, okay, all right, man, that's real brave and bold of you.
They have a whole show for people who are raw. It's called Raw.
Shut the fuck up. you motherfucker. I'm like, oh, he's talking about NXT. He talking about that. You're a brilliant motherfucker.
But no, like Jade Cargill's high upside. it's not that she isn't raw. It's not that she isn't green, but she can bring it when she wants to. And I feel like
Hmm.
Naomi is enough of a veteran to be able to pull that out of her.
Yes, that's the main reason why I'm excited for the match is Naomi herself. Jade is great. Should if there's ever another X-Men movie where they're not trying to like play off of the nostalgia, is like you should just get Jade Cargill to play Storm.
Yeah.
Like she's the most fucking of. Another reason why I really like wrestling is how extravagant everything is, and it's like the some of these people look like actual real life superheroes. If I had a comic book character and my comic book character was a Jay Cargill could play She-Hulk. You don't even have to use CGI to make her look that much bigger. And like, yeah, I could believe that she would fucking pick up a car.
Yeah.
That's the main appeal of Jade Cargill is like, oh, she just looks really fucking powerful, and she is.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that is like you gotta give her credit for, because with a lot of, especially male wrestlers who are just real fucking brolic and big, they can't hit the big man stuff. And Jade Cargill has, even in her start in AEW, she was hitting the big man shit
Mm-hmm.
consistently. It was when she had to do things that weren't the big man shit that the botches happened. But it is what it is.
Next
But
up
yeah,
is the War Raiders, the Viking Experience, the
the Viking Raiders.
yeah, versus the New Day, which are their heels now. I haven't really been watching. That's something I've been interesting to see, but I can't care enough about the rest of the show to watch for anything right now.
I've been. Unfortunately, I think the best way to keep track of the weekly shows on WWE is Twitter clips. It really fucking the weekly shows are basically like, yeah, just watch the Twitter clips, man. I'm when they stopped making them wrestle Rey Mysterio for 2 months. And then just ended that and was like, oh shit, we have tag titles on Raw, you guys. What the fuck are we doing here? When they actually remembered that they have the tag titles on Raw, they were like, okay, we can use this for the New Day. Because they've been, since the Big E thing, as heels, they've been doing pretty damn good stuff. I've liked this, because, old heel New Day was, oh, ha ha ha, you're a fucking idiot, and we're gonna make you look stupid, ha ha ha. We're all laughing and joking all the time. It's a new day. Like the whole don't be sour thing is all play on them being heels, and now they don't have that. They're more serious and scumbaggy than ever, and it's like I'm down to see where this goes. How far they can take it without Big E. Um, them turning on Big E the way that they did was brilliant. Unfortunately, nothing came from that outside of them hitting Rey Mysterio with like bullshit over and over again. But like they were like, man, fuck you, Big E. You weren't there for us. And real, he wasn't. He got his injury. He just started doing side quests and stuff and never showed up for them. And it's like, that's fair. And then I don't have anything to say about the Viking Raiders. I'm gonna be for real. I thought they got cut.
Right? When I saw them the other day looking at the match graphics, I thought it was the fucking Occam and Razor, the Authors of Pain.
Oh yeah, those guys got cut. But yeah, they're there. I mean, it should be a match. It should be good. It should be fine. I don't really see a reality where this is bad. because they put on good matches. Their matches with the Street Profits 4 years ago, those were pretty good matches, and this should be good.
It'll probably be decent, but I don't see a way I'm probably going to care about it.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be there to watch it, and I won't be saying too much about it.
Next up, speaking of Rey Mysterio, it's him versus El Grande Americano, which is basically just
Shaq Gable. Yeah. It's one of the worst gimmicks of all time.
That being said, Chad Gable is probably one of the best people on the roster, so this is still going to be a fucking banger.
Oh, no, it's going to be a great match. Unfortunately, I have this horrible, sneaking suspicion there's going to be a crowd shot of Donald Trump before this match happens.
Jesus Christ. You really think he's going to be at fucking WrestleMania?
Bro, you know what? I mean, he does anything but govern, so yeah, I believe he'll be at WrestleMania.
And you can't really golf at night.
You can't really golf at night. That's why he was at UFC.
Yeah, I think
that shit fucking pulled me out of it. I was into UFC, and then the main card started, and they did the whole Donald Trump. Oh, we love Donald Trump, and I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
After that, we have the Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso fighting Gunther, who, okay.
Not a main event. Not a main event. That's so fucking crazy to me. Not the main event.
No, here's the thing. I hate this fucking belt.
Yeah.
This specific belt pisses me off so badly.
It looks so stupid.
Not even that. The fact that they try to make it a world title, yet there is a title above it, means that it's not a world title. It's just something you have.
Yeah.
This means nothing. Yeah. Gunther.
Well, it's the issue with that the old shows had the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title, and then they combined the belts, and then they brand split. So we're like, oh fuck, that was 8 years ago or some shit like that. Now it's still one of the dumbest things that they did, where they had two belts. And then they split the two world titles, and they combined the two world titles, and then brand split, fucking, like, not even a year after the fact, and had to make up the Universal title, and it's like, oh my god.
Why not just split the titles back again?
Why not split the titles back again?
All you have to do is, okay, well, there's very easy ways out of this. You have a triple threat match, and the first falls for one title, the second falls for another title. So yeah, you can have person A pin person B, while the person C, who's the champion, is protected. Then person C comes over and beats person B. Yeah. You split the titles. He hasn't taken a loss, but and there's a million more ways to do it. But that's just the first thing that comes to mind. There's ways to do this instead of just making a new title.
The easiest thing, because there's really no rules, and you can make up shit as you go. The easiest thing to do would be to just bring back the World Heavyweight title. You can just do that. You can just do that. No one can stop you. You can just do it.
But every time they show this, and they're like, World Heavyweight Champion on Raw, Gunther, and he has his belt. And they show Cody, SmackDown Champion, and he has two belts.
Does he have two belts?
Yeah, he still comes out with two belts. Unless they changed it within the last month or two. Because last I saw, they were still having him come out with two belts.
I thought no. When they combined the titles, they just made one belt. I thought. I
swear I've seen him come out with two belts recently.
Roman Reigns never had two belts.
Hey Vaughn.
I don't know if she's listening.
But that's just something that, again, that always pissed me off, is because the concept of the Universal title, or the Undisputed title, whatever the fuck they call it now, basically means that this belt is a bitch belt, and it means nothing. So, but we're supposed to treat it like it's on the same level, and it makes no sense at all. And
it doesn't even get treated the same.
Yeah, like,
because it's the main title on Raw, but it's like, when's the last time it was the fucking thing that finished? Now, I will say the Jay and Gunther build up started very poorly, and then they started Jay fucked up a couple spots, and I was like, okay, the storyline is going to be that Jey Uso sucks ass. He doesn't have a chance, and that will really build it up. And they fucking dropped that because it was like, hey, wait, that's really stupid to have the guy who won the Royal Rumble be the guy who actually sucks. And now, okay, what we gotta do? Oh, fucking, he has a twin brother. Let's just beat the shit out of his twin brother and have that be his major motivation. And it kind of was. It worked. We'll see how that goes. Maybe.
So that's night 1. Night 2, we got.
Wait, that's night 1?
Yeah, that was all night 1.
Jesus Christ! I thought when you brought up the New Day and stuff that was the start of night 2.
No, according to this list.
Oh my god!
According to this list,
that's gonna be so many matches.
So night 2, Cody and Cena, which I want to. It would be funny as fuck if Cena wins, and I kind of think he will.
It's gonna be so funny when Cena wins and he doesn't fucking wrestle again.
Right?
He wins and he's like, all right, peace out, everybody. And he just fucking leaves.
And there's a certain segment of the viewer base that would say that this is the greatest single of all time.
I think it would just be funny. I don't think that would be good. I genuinely think that would be the worst outcome. But you have to understand, I think it would be so funny.
It would be.
But it would be the worst outcome. But it would be the funniest outcome. And it's like, I'm torn between, like, do I support this genuinely terrible thing that could happen? But think about how funny it would be. And it's like, you're just sitting there and you're like, fuck. I don't know. I mean, Cody winning would be just fine, but dude, it would really feel like we just do what we did last year,
right?
Because it's like there's no way you have Cody win without there being an actual fuck finish, because there's so many other things involved in this. And it's like the Rock stuff would be fine, I think, if the whole Rock telling Cody to sell his soul thing is Rock telling Cody, you need to turn heel. If that's what it is, then all right, okay, I'm down with that. I think that's a cool gimmick. A guy trying to force someone to turn heel. That would be a cool gimmick, but they're not doing that. They're just being very vague with it. Sell your soul, Cody. Sell your soul. What does this mean? He's the fucking world champion. Wait, what does he need to sell his soul for? I don't get it.
Me neither. So after that, on this list is Io Sky versus Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, which I enjoyed Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair is good. Io Sky is great. It should be good, but in that way where it's like you don't remember it the next day.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be one of those. This should be the main event of night 1. This should be the main event of night 1. It shouldn't be the other triple threat. This should be the one that's the main event of night 1. This is the one that has actually had, like, there's actually a storyline going all the way back to the last pay-per-view. You know what didn't have a storyline going back to the last pay-per-view? Fucking Rollins, Punk, and Reigns. Oh my god, I forgot who was in the fucking match. That's how much that match shouldn't be the main event. Fuck CM Punk and his I want to be the main. Fuck you, CM Punk, you old bitch. It should be Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair.
Fucking CM Punk is like, I'm the main event, and it's just stands at JPEG. Yeah, of night 1.
I mean, but even still, yeah, I don't know. This should be the main event. It's like you said though. There's a build up to it. It's so bizarre that Bianca is the one that gets booed the most out of everyone in this match. I think people are starting to get to her that the way that people are with Cody Rhodes, where it's we've seen you do the face thing for so long. We want to see something new from you.
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
But Bianca Belair is just too good to get booed that way. To me, I don't know. But this is one of those things where it's like, it's a lot like the U.S. title match where it's like, I don't think there's a bad outcome here.
Yeah, I can see that. I can say that too.
I don't really see it there being a bad outcome. I guess like the worst outcome is probably actually is Bianca winning, because it's like, we've done this before. But also, really and truly, the worst outcome is probably actually Rhea Ripley winning when you think about it, because of all the women in this match who've had their title runs. The two, I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Of the two women who've had their title runs already before, Rhea Ripley's run was notably worse than Bianca Belair's, mostly because of the storylines that Rhea Ripley had to be a part of. Yeah, we're probably gonna do this in the end.
Yeah, probably.
I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the worst outcome is probably Rhea Ripley winning. I hope Evo Sky wins.
Yes.
Is damage control still a thing? That's not a thing anymore, right?
I have no clue.
I don't think so. Because 2 of them are injured, and the other one is having like a schizophrenic breakdown. So I don't think damage control is really a thing right now.
The damage is now out of control, is what you're saying?
The damage has been uncontrolled, is what we're saying. So I think Evo Sky winning and having Evo Sky versus Asuka would be cool. Even though I feel like the American, yeah, it's not for now. Okay, Evo Sky versus Asuka would be a cool thing to have as a program, as a feud. But I feel like American crowds would fucking ruin that. Just completely ruin that. Because they would absolutely, every time they cut promos to each other in Japanese, the crowds, every time they finish speaking, would be like, what? Fucking kill yourselves. Alright?
So after that is the match that you were kind of talking about, Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic, which...
Oh shit, we didn't talk about that one already. Whoops! Whoops! My bad. I thought that was already talked about. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Yeah. Like, the night 1 matches are like great. If WWE's smart, you open with this one. You open with this match night 2. You wake the people up with this shit. Alright? Because you could put on, I don't want to say 20. That's a little much. I don't think Braun Breaker could move in a wrestling ring for 20 minutes.
Well, he doesn't have to.
Even in a 4-man match.
I'm saying he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. That's a little much. I would like.
Now here's the thing. Matches like this, especially when they involve a big guy, it usually breaks down to like Penta and it'll break down to like Penta and Finn. Dominic will come in every once in a while. Brian will have a spot or two, but it's going to be Penta and Finn carrying a lot of that match in my preview, in my estimation.
Oh, in my mind, that's what I'm seeing too.
But they're both.
I'm also seeing this could potentially, if Dom wins, this potentially leads to the end of the Judgment Day. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
If Finn wins, I think everything continues business as usual. Penta winning would be the most interesting. I don't know where you go after that. Like Braun, I don't see a reality where Braun Breaker wins this. I'm thinking he's next up against like either Jay or Gunther after this.
So, and I don't mean anything by this, but just to finish my thought from a little bit from earlier.
Oh.
I don't necessarily like Finn Balor either, but I feel like those two are going to be a really good engine for this match, and everything else is going to be on top of it to make this a really good one. But
because Braun Breaker is he had his 2 years in NXT, but he's still on the greener side. He's just really fucking strong. Who's that one guy? The guy who used to Mojo Rawley. You remember him, right?
Yeah.
Braun Breaker is what what if Mojo Rawley was good? That's what Braun Breaker is. And it's like, you can't have someone do the stuff that he's been doing for that long. So you need the other three guys. And I don't know. We talked about Dominic Mysterio's ring work earlier, and I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, it's like, what the fuck was I thinking about? I can't think of any moment inside of a ring from Dominic Mysterio that's like, yeah, man, that dude's good.
To follow up with what you were saying though, like, I think in order of least to most interesting, least would be Finn, next least would be Braun, and I feel like Dominic is probably going to be your most. Just because Penta doesn't have, as far as I understand, doesn't have a whole lot of storyline going on.
He doesn't really have any going on right now.
Especially when you said leads to the end of the Judgment Day, I can see like Dom wins off of some shenanigans or something over Finn. And then Braun has his champion rematch if they still do that next month. Finn causes that turns that into a DQ. Braun goes and does his shit while you have this Judgment Day implosion storyline going on over this belt. I'm willing to predict.
Yeah, I'm willing to predict Dominic Mysterio win.
Yeah.
Penta winning is. I think Penta winning is actually the most interesting to me because I don't know what they'll do after that. So, I'm gonna have it in from most to least. Penta, Dominic, Braun, Finn Balor. Finn Balor, he's not bad. He's a great wrestler, but unfortunately, inside of this match, I don't want you to win this. I said earlier, this is a match where it's like, no matter who wins, I'll be happy. I wouldn't be that happy if Finn Balor wins.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's like, fucking another fucking 6 months of Judgment Day, I guess. Unless Finn Balor wins, and Liv Morgan starts getting this to Dominic Mysterio's ear, like, actually, you should have won that, and that does it. Ooh! A woman leading to the breakup of a bunch of men. Let's get misogynistic around here, baby.
After that, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
Sure. I mean, the tallest match on the card, baby. That's all I got.
I feel like I should like Damian Priest a lot more than I do, but I just don't. And Drew is good, but this means nothing to me.
Yeah, this is just straight up. Yeah, man. You guys had those titles. That was really cool. That was really nice. Thank you for holding that title for Gunther. We don't need you in the main event scene. Let's go and we'll put you guys together so you have a little fun together, right? Fun! There needs to be a stipulation or a gimmick to this. There has to be tables involved for me to really care about this match, I think.
I could agree
Bring
with
a
that.
car out and have it ringside and have the match end when someone gets thrown through the windshield. Something. Anything. This is just not that interesting of a match. It's probably going to be 5 minutes. You can't even have a fuck finish because like who gives a shit about these two right
now? The women's tag team championship, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
Shouts out to having your women's IC title holder in a tag match on WrestleMania and not single. I guess you also have the women's tag titles, and you're like, shit, we don't know. They fucking, they had something going with Bianca, Naomi, and Jade having the titles, and then they got it off of them and started that program, that shit going on over there, and now they're like, oh, fuck, we really didn't have a plan for these two to have anything to do with it. And they don't. There's no real plan here for the women's tag titles. It's so bizarre to me. Because there's multiple women's tag teams. They just don't have a plan for it at all. Shrug. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it'll be fine. These are 4 good wrestlers. It's like, you don't want to leave Bayley off the WrestleMania card. But also at the same time, you're willing to leave willing to leave Alexa Bliss off. I would have rather this be Bailey and Alexa Bliss for some reason. But I guess because fucking Bo Dallas' leg exploded. Jesus Christ, he's been gone for so long. I guess because of that, it's like, well, we have Alexa Bliss. We can't have her Alexa Bliss without the Wyatt. It's like, yes, you can. You did that for multiple years. She can still be spooky little girl, this spooky little girl that's teaming up with Bailey now. Or she's facing Ira Valkyrie for the IC title. I don't get it. There's WWE is in the exact same spot that UFC is in for me, where it's like there's really exciting stuff, but also there's like 20 people they have plans for, and then you have everyone else, and they're like, I don't fucking know, man. But you have to feel basically 6 hours of programming per week, between SmackDown and Raw. 205, which does that still happen?
I think it does for foreign markets or something like that.
No, okay, 205 does not still happen. Main Event still happens, though, right?
No clue. I want to say it doesn't, but they use the name for like special. Oh no, that's Saturday night's Main Event.
Yeah, Main Event, because that gets filmed the day before SmackDown, and then it gets aired, or after, it's either before or after SmackDown, one of the two. But you also have Speed. There's so much stuff. So they have a giant roster, but then they don't know what to do with most of them. It's like, it's kind of bizarre that you have all these undercarders and you're not like getting storylines and stuff out on Speed and Main Event to fill it up. Oh yeah, and Evolve. Yeah. It would be cool to see stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, the smart thing to do is like, yeah, you only really have Speed B matches, which is fair. But like Main Event should be I think Main Event's like an hour and a half or something like that. It should be like fucking 2 matches, and the rest of it is just promos for undercarders, just to fill out spaces and have stories for them. But yeah, hour is 3 matches. Oh fuck me, then. I would like to see what this match becomes, but it's just not really anything interesting there. Also, Raquel Rodriguez is not a good wrestler. She just isn't. She's obviously the worst wrestler in this match.
So the last one on this list, so that means it's the most important one apparently. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, shouts out to this match, where it feels like neither man in this match wants to talk about this match happening. Karrion Kross has been doing more promotion for this match than either one of them. Cool that you guys are on WrestleMania, though, I guess. Get that paycheck, brother. I don't know. With the advent of like social media and stuff, it really feels an AJ Styles Logan Paul match. Even if most of the shit happens over like fucking Instagram videos, it feels real easy to get some hype around this one by just having Logan Paul talk about how this dog ass motherfucker who wrestled his whole life and he couldn't get to WWE until he was 40. I did it at the age of 25. It's like, okay, that's cool. That would be cool if that was what was going on here. It isn't. You know why it isn't? Because fucking people are bringing up that video of AJ Styles saying the N-word, and it's like, oh shit, we can't really talk about AJ Styles on the internet. Oh god. So cool.
This is something that'll happen, and you just kind of have to be okay with that.
It's gonna be it's one of those things where it's like, I definitely don't give a shit about this one. But it's gonna be one of those matches where it's like, unfortunately, Logan Paul is really athletic, so
And AJ Styles is good. Yeah, they're probably. I mean,
and
it'll
AJ
be.
Styles is very good. So this should be a good match. It's real fucking unfortunate. Logan Paul puts on some decent matches, so yeah, it's probably gonna be good. I'm probably not gonna give too much. I take back what I said. I take back what I said. Because fucking WrestleMania is going to be during Easter. And I'm going to be down having dinner with my family. So if this is the opener, I won't feel bad missing it. So
I can imagine
this
it
should
being
be
open,
the yeah, let this one be opener. Let this one and then this one and then the women's tag titles match be the opener. That way I don't give a shit that I missed it.
So, any last words you want to say? Because that's kind of the end of that.
Yeah, that's kind of the end of that. I hope to see some impressive violence out of WrestleMania this year, because mostly from when I watch wrestling, what I want to see is violence. The AEW does violence incredibly well, and I'm ready to see more of that. Wrestling.
I think you unplugged the game.
Sorry, my fucking wire keeps getting caught under my desk in my new setup. Wrestling, the drama is cool, and that does give you something to care about in a match. But like, you can have not really anything going into the match. You just know that these two people are going to. I'm thinking about it. Man, day 2 kind of sucks ass. Huh. Like, there's effectively only 2 matches I really want to see.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's a lot of.
Wow, day 1 is much better. Maybe it is good that CM Punk's main event in day 1, because I can just go to bed early and I don't have to watch that one. Yeah. I'll be so amped up from all those other matches, and then I see CM Punk start walking down the ramp, and I go, time for bed, baby. So, yeah, I don't know. I think people who aren't into wrestling, I understand completely, but you should give it a try, just simply because violence.
Yeah, and
you just right.
To go off of what you just said, honestly, like again, like I said before, I'll go off about WWE all I want. If you have none of the baggage that I have of 30 years of watching this horse shit, definitely come and give it a try, because you'll probably really have a good time. It's I can give opinions on it all day, but this is something that's meant to kind of appeal to the broader audience, and in that it's going to lose someone like me, but to someone coming in, this is going to be a hell of a spectacle.
Mm-hmm. It should be a big spectacle. I don't know. Professional wrestling is the closest you get to, like, hey, what if, like, what if some rich guy went over to, like, superheroes and was like, yo, saving the day doesn't really pay the bills, does it? I give you fucking $1 million a year to beat the shit out of each other. And they'll do it. It's like, that's all part of the appeal of wrestling. It's like, some crazy dude is paying these crazy people big money to punch each other in the fucking face. I would love if there was more bleeding, but I'm fucking sicko. So yeah.
I think that's about all we got for that. Any last words?
Hopefully we can record more frequently, and not the 6-month break was mostly my fault, and we probably will maybe one day have a part 2 for the making the Mega Fighting Game roster, but later.
Later.